What's up, everyone? We're here for a special show and go today. We had a big day of the UFC yesterday. We put the call out and we have Dan Hooker, UFC lightweight, one of YKTR's favorites. And I've got Jackson over in Auckland as well, but we'll start with you first. Dan, how are you, mate? Looks like you're still in lockdown there.
Yeah. One day to go. So I'm a very happy man. I can almost taste freedom.
How good, mate. Did you able to sit there yesterday and watch all the fights, I imagine?
Yeah, that's probably our best day in quarantine. We're sitting there with the boys having a few beers in quarantine, and that killed a good 8 hours watching all of the fights.
How good. And Jackson, mate, how were you yesterday watching the fights?
No, mate, I'm good. I'm tasting freedom. Sometimes I just drive past Dan's hotel and just wave out, just chilling out the window. So, no, I'm good, mate. Yeah, I wasn't working yesterday, so I got to actually just kick back. And I missed all the fights. I watched a couple of prelims, and then I was driving back out to my parents' place. So I missed the Rose fight and got in just for Piotr Jan. So yeah, hectic fight.
Yeah, I reckon we stick to the big three today. The main card. Peter Yan, that was a crazy little bit of a stoppage and whatnot at the end. But Dan, would love to get your thoughts on your boy Alex as well. He walked away with the belt. What were your thoughts on that fight, mate?
Yeah, incredibly close fight. It was the first two rounds had me kind of on the edge of my seat, a bit worried. But man, the ability to change it around or make the adjustments he needed to make is something that only a few fighters can do. Something like that, to be 2 rounds down in a championship fight and then to make the adjustments he needed to make, started mixing in the level changes, started threatening with the takedown, able to get a couple of takedowns, and that really stopped Max's use of the kicks and his free flow with the kicks. So it was very impressive to see.
Jackson?
Yeah. So I loved it, bro. I thought it was like Dan said, I was nervous. I won't say scared because everyone knows Volk's a beast, and I always thought he was gonna make adjustments. Max clearly did. I did not see Max basically answering those leg kicks with leg kicks of his own. I haven't seen him also stand that. Like Dan, you'd probably be able to better say, educate me on this, but he's usually so. What is it? It's like almost sideways. He's quite wide, and he went fucking narrow. I don't know if that was he clearly meant to do that or whatever. But when he was firing down the pipe, it obviously took Volk about 2.5 rounds to sort of start to get out of the way of that. And then once he did, he came on like a storm, man. But you were saying, like, Dan, we spoke last week, and you said that, Volk is the type of guy that when shit's not going his way, he is a smart enough fighter, right? That he can recognize that. As good as the corner is, he recognized that quite clearly, yeah.
Oh man, the adjustments that Holloway made between this fight and the second fight is, man, they were incredible. They were incredible.
I tip my hat to.
I'm calling it right now bullshit. I'm calling absolute bullshit. Like, there's no way you can make those kind of adjustments in your game with no drilling part.
He just woke up like that, boy.
No coaching, nothing like that. So I'm calling bullshit that he on the whole Zoom training camp right now.
Yeah.
Get the Hawaiian police around to his house, bro. He's been escaping lockdown. But no, that was incredible. That's usually he's so heavy on his front leg. Max is so heavy on his front leg because he's just inching his way forward, using his boxing. But he came in with an incredible kicking game. He came in low kicking, high kicking, spin kicking, showing the lead leg. Man, it was the adjustments he made were not many fighters that deep into their UFC careers can show big changes like that in such a short period of time.
It's crazy to think we've seen Max fight for so long that you kind of you assume almost with a guy who's been fighting that long at such a high level that what you see is what you get. That was a completely different Max Holloway, and he did it all off Zoom. Unbelievable. I can't believe it.
Yeah, Dan, you might be able to put you a little workout here on Zoom now. Is this how it is? Or how does it work,
No,
that's all.
Yeah. He looked mean, bro. I thought Volk, Dan, it'd be interesting. Obviously, the biggest takeaway was everyone talking about the decision. I had it 3-1 Max going into the fifth, and then it was obviously a clear fifth for Volk. But, I mean, a lot of people had it 2-2, and then Volk had the clear fifth. I sort of likened it, and you'll be able to, I mean, you're the best person to talk about this, similar to your Dustin fight where it was fucking razor close, and then someone wins the fifth, so they get the decision. How did you see it going into that fifth? Because you mentioned for the first two you were a bit nervous, but did you have that third round, which I suppose was kind of the swing round? Did you have that for Volk?
Yeah, like the first two, obviously the knockdown in the first two had him those rounds, but they were still competitive rounds. It's not like Max was beating him up and then knocked him down. Like then you're coming into crazy like 10-8 kind of range. There's no way. It was there were competitive rounds, and Max got flash knockdowns. 10-9. First and second, 10-9. Then Alex started to pressure a bit more and land a few more strikes. Just that he does a great job of in between the explosions. Alex is always working, and he just accumulates strikes without you really noticing. So even though like Max would come in and there would be an exchange, but in between those exchanges, like Alex is chipping away. Like you can say point fighting all you want, but it's chipping away the guy, and it's breaking him down. And you can't say it's not effective, because at the fourth and fifth rounds is when Alex was able to come on, because he did hurt that leg. You look at the lead leg of Holloway, he had a bruise, he had it red, and he started getting him to react to it. Like then it shut down the kicking game of Max, because his legs are getting heavy and they start getting glued to the floor when someone keeps chipping away at your legs. And then of course, same thing, close rounds, close exchanges, but Alex had the volume in the third, fourth, and fifth. Alex had the volume, but you can definitely see it, because I have the same opinion. Like, obviously knockdowns, I score higher than takedowns. Like that's just from outside looking in, knockdowns scored higher from takedowns. But the fact of the matter is they're not. It is a 10-9 must scoring system. Every round is 10-9, and if you win 2 rounds and lose the next 3, you lose the fight. And that's just the way. Like if you have a problem with the decision, then you have a problem with the entire. You have a problem with the entire way that fighting has been scored for the last 100 years.
Yeah, anything with the judges system like that, there's always going to be a bit of what's the word? Like it's subjective, right? It's if someone, like you say, you value a knockdown more, someone might value a takedown more, but at the end of the day, it's a 10-9 to 10-9. So look, I mean, I thought he won the fight in the end. I just thought that I'm one of those weird ones where I'm kind of like, whoever win, in a razor split one like that, I'm of the opinion that whoever's finishing the stronger, the champion sort of mentality of that should get a decision. I know that's not the way the score works, but when I'm watching it with my eyes, I thought he won that fight. So I wasn't mad with the decision at all. And of course, another belt coming back to City Kickboxing, baby. What's up?
Let's go. Nah, how good.
What about Sorry, Lukey,
that's what I was just going to roll through. So then we had the big, the 6 days notice for Masvidal versus Usman. Dan, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, obviously, Masvidal had to cut a lot of weight in that short period of time on short notice. It's very much a very Masvidal thing to do. It sort of fits with his character. Would that have had any impact on sort of the performance that he delivered? I think we've just lost Dan.
I'm back.
He's back. Here we go.
I'm back.
His camera?
You lost me, but I'm back.
We've lost your camera. Here we go.
All right. Oh, maybe it's just...
It's sort of been cutting out. Has Dan's camera been a bit in there for you, Jackson?
Yeah, I can hear him, sweet butt.
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you, sweet man. That's fine.
We don't need to
see
his face, mate.
You need to see me?
There he is. All healed up. Beautiful.
Sorry, Luke. You pick it back up, bro.
Yeah, so what I was saying... the main event, we had Masvidal Usman. It's massive hype fight on 6 days notice for Masvidal. I'd love to hear your thoughts, Dan, on like a weight cut condensed into that short period of time. He's probably been training. This fight for him has been something that's been on the cards for a while. But to get it under the circumstances having to fly all the way across to the fight island for that, would that have had much of an impact on his performance? He sort of started quite strong, and then, as he said himself, he sort of gassed himself a little bit there.
Yeah, like yes and no, but I don't think those are things that factors that we can't really take into account because everyone's under the same circumstances at this time. It's not like Usman's camp would have been perfect, and it's not like Usman had a full camp. He was training for a completely different style of fighter. So then to have that shifted on 6 days' notice as the champion, he didn't have to take the fight. He accepted the fight short notice as well. So it's a tough spot. He didn't look like he gassed it. It didn't look to me like it was a gas issue for Masvidal. It looked he was just getting stuck in the cage and he couldn't avoid Usman's game. And that's just what Usman does is pressure fighters against the cage and control them there. And just those little annoying shots, the shoulder shots, the little uppercuts to the body.
The foot stomp.
Bro.
I personally don't score them. I've never seen a fight stopped with a foot stomp or anyone actually injured. But it's just annoying, and because it's like a wrestling mat, the cage, it makes a lot of noise when you stomp. So a lot of noise generally adds effect.
Yeah,
and so it's difficult. It was more Usman's effective control of the fight than the deciding factor being Masvidal wasn't super prepared.
Yeah, I'm with you there. He does those annoying things as well when he's like, he fucking covers the hand over the face. That shit gives me like claustrophobia, bro. Fuck that. That's such a wrestler's fucking thing, eh? Like the face smush and he's fucking like, yeah. No, I was with you. I thought going into the fight, that was kind of exactly how it was going to play out. And saying that, like everyone, I'm on the Masvidal hype. Like I hoped he was going to run out there and fucking spinning back fist and knock him out and, ride off into the sunset in a velvet robe. Like it's cool when guys get on this little run like this, but I mean, Usman's one of those immovable objects where, like, maybe it's not the most exciting type of fight, but it's fucking effective, man. And if you don't like it, beat him. Like, do something to beat him. I mean, he's never going to, he's not like – it's different with Khabib because I saw a lot of people like, oh, you hate Usman, but you love Khabib. But Khabib, like, mauls people and beats the fuck out of him down there. Usman's more of a pressure, control, like, he breaks your will with that sort of shit. So, I'm with Dan. I didn't think Masvidal gassed. I didn't think he looked, like, physically as sort of tight and crisp and as strong as perhaps he looked in that who was a stupid BMF bout in the Nate fight. But he now does Usman get the belt? What the fuck happens with that now? Was that not up for grabs? How does that work?
I think Usman needed to do some BMF shit. He needed to do the spinning back fist knockout, and then I think he would have got the BMF title. But
not the foot stomps.
Five round foot stomp fest is. I don't think that qualifies you for the BMF.
No. But I suppose now it's. I mean, now they just wait for Gilbert Burns again. I don't know if he has to have a fight before he gets there, but Usman's going to be a nightmare to take out there, man, because he's tough, bro. He's pressure. He's in your face, and he fucking hurts you. Masvidal's not going anywhere. He's still a superstar. It's almost even more gangster that he took the fight on short notice. To Dan's point, no one's giving Usman the credit for taking the fight on short notice, but Masvidal's sort of getting all this extra hype. Dan, can you put into because I'm a fucking idiot, what is 20 pounds in kilos? Like, how much is he dropping in 6 days? How much is that?
Like half. It's like 10 kilos. But like all of that is, we all. Everyone likes to add a few pounds on just to make it a bit more, a bit more of a statement for the fans. Facts. And then he does the troll thing of flying over and stopping up in Rome for pizza, and it's like, come on, we know you didn't eat pizza.
yeah. Then he's lying on the ground covered in towels. We're like, we all do that. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What about obviously the other big fight, which I was fucking hyped for and it didn't miss, was my boy. I say my boy because I'm on the train now. Petr Yan and Jose. I mean, I've heard Kai's told us a million myths and war stories about Petr. Must have been Tiger where they trained, or was that in Thailand?
Yeah, they trained together in Tiger, so I was there as well. Yan was just a little bit smaller, so we didn't get in much work with Yan. Like I didn't do like a lot of sparring, but I seen him just body bag motherfuckers in the in the gym. Yeah. Like you'd just be sparring, and then you just hear someone whack. Look over, and just Jan's just icing someone, right? Like he would just lay him out. But him and Kai would put on some incredible. I had seen some incredible fights with Kai and Yan in the gym. Those two going to war. Those two going back and forth. But theirs were always like friendly. They were never actually trying to kill each other. Jan's There's ice in that boy's veins. I guess.
Killer.
He's a killer, bro. Kai always talks about, like, I don't know, what's the word he used? They called him, like, or you'd know, it's like not the regulator or like something, but basically he was like, if anyone ever stepped out of line at Tiger, like heavyweights, middleweight, didn't matter. They were like, right, throw Piotr and win him. He'd fucking sort him.
The
So
enforcer.
it was a crazy fight, bro. I thought Jose looked, I mean, to be doing what he's doing at his age and dropping down a weight like that, you'd know how tough that fucking cut down a weight class is. Like, and he looked shredded out of his mind. He looked slick. If anyone entertains that striking battle with Jose, he's still going to look like a world beater at fucking 42. Like, he's different, man. But I was just blown away by how Piotr weathered the storm. And then even post-match, I mean, obviously post-fight, everyone says it, but he said that was his game plan, to sort of weather the storm and then 3, 4, 5, clean him up. And he did it. But those body shots, as hard and as vicious as they looked, didn't seem to be affecting the dude. He's just like, he just didn't give a fuck. Walked straight through him. And his striking, man, is just so fucking crisp. It's very different. Dan, you'll be able to speak to, like, it's not a traditional Muay Thai thing. It's I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what they're doing in Russia, but it's that hand up. He just sort of wears it and then cracks. So I thought it was incredible, man. He's going to be a tough one to move from that position as well.
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest challenge of his career, and it was the hardest fight because Jose looked good. In my opinion, like Jose Aldo looked like he was on. He didn't look slow. He didn't look heavy. He didn't look anything. He looked crisp. He looked sharp, and he came to fight. Like, it was a back and forth contest for those first few rounds. And even Jose was coming on in that third, and I was starting to get worried. He started breaking down those body shots. Peter was kind of hunching over, and he was almost getting those knees off to the head. If one of those would have landed, it could have completely changed the trajectory of the fight. But yeah, as we say, Peter Yan weathered the storm. He was able to survive those explosions and come back on. Yeah, he that's not even a Russian style. I've never seen another Russian fighter fight like that. A very tight, close guard, but he's so good on the inside, and it's hard to do with those smaller gloves to catch all of those punches. And no one really fights from both stances as well as he does with that style, with that high guard, closed, parrying the shots. But he can mirror the exact same thing from both stances. Well, he does have the benefit of doing that, where he's got a master of boxing in Russia, which I believe is something ridiculous, like 200, 250
what you have to do to get
boxing fights. So he's had a lot of ring time.
But I thought he'd switch stances because obviously we had a bit of vintage Jose throwing leg kicks. I don't know why about 5 years ago he just stopped throwing leg kicks, but they kind of started and that one that whipped him off his feet, I was like, fuck, here he comes again. And I was like, oh, he switched stances because he switched stances because he hurt him. But then and just talking to people in the know and kind of, it's like, no, bro, he does that just when he sees something, he switches stances to see what the other guy's going to do. And he can fire so fucking effectively from both stances. It's like, it doesn't even, you kind of don't notice it in the throw of the fight that he switched stances because it's exactly what you said, Dan. It's so natural, yeah?
Yeah, I did feel, that's when I started to get worried because in the orthodox, Jose was getting those leg kicks off and Jan wasn't doing a great job of dealing with them. I believe he did switch stances. His leg was starting to get heavy and starting to get beat up. He started switching to southpaw, and then Jose started getting the rip to the body off too. So he was hurt in orthodox, and then he started to land and hurt him in southpaw as well. So that's when I started to get worried because then you start getting beat up in both of your stances. Well, you're shit out of luck. You got no options left if you're hurt in both stances. But then he started. From southpaw, he started dealing with that shot to the body. He would then just wait for Jose to load up on it, start to crack him over the top. And that was really the turning point of the fight. Once he figured that out, then he was able to pressure forward from southpaw and turn the trajectory of the fight.
Those body shots actually made me feel sick, bro. They were ripping, man. Like, they were almost hitting him in the back. Like, they were so fucking vicious. Jose's not going anywhere, bro. If anyone in that division wants to entertain the strike battle with him, he'll clean him up. Like, if you're not Piotr Yan and you try strike with him, he's going to fuck you up, bro. His back, he looked so shredded. It was stupid.
Yeah, he looked far better in the weight cut too. Like, the first time he went down from Marlon Moraes, he looked anemic, and I was worried for him. But
especially at that age.
one. He's obviously. It takes some time to adjust to a weight class. You can jump between weight classes. Like if I sat on eating McDonald's for a couple of weeks, I could fight at middleweight. But I'm not going to be a middleweight. Like it takes time for your body to adjust, time to get used to carrying the weight or losing the weight and adjusting with a smaller frame. So it's just time. It shows time at this division, and I'm excited to see him at another crack at bantamweight for sure.
You'll be straight to Macca's once you get out of ISO, won't you, boy?
I was about to bring that up.
Straight.
What's the post ISO go-to feed, boy? What do you?
No, you can get Uber Eats here, so I've not been living too bad. They do feed you quite well, large. So I have no complaints. And then I've had people sending me food. People have been patting me on the back and sending me pizza, patting me on the back, sending me a bunch of steak and ribs. So I can't say I've been doing it too tough here in ISO, boys.
I bet you're excited to get back in the gym and get out of that car park you've been doing all your training in.
Oh, we're fed up, bro. We're fed up of each other. We're threatening to spike each other on the car park, on the asphalt. We've had about enough. But last day, we got one more sparring session this afternoon, and then we're done.
Good. Those takedowns on the asphalt, they hit different, don't they?
A bit of asphalt scrape.
Nothing better. Well, mate, we really appreciate you coming on the show and go this week to recap yesterday's fights. We'd love to have you on again. You're always welcome. YKTR Sports, we're always behind you too, mate. So I'm looking forward to your next fight, whenever that will be. Planning on getting back in there this year? What's the little scoop for
I'm itchy, bro. Maybe it's the isolation, but I am itchy. I am itchy to fight. And the boys are looking like September, but if I could push it, I think October. That sounds good to me.
That sounds
Dan
good.
Hooker, Fight Island in October. You heard it here first, people.
Here we go. Well, no,
we
should have brought it up. Actually, we still got time. Dana White yesterday wants to bring UFC down to New Zealand. He sees the crowds excited by that. Yeah.
I would love that. I would love that. I got the number. So the UFC for the last event in Auckland, they flew over 166 people for that last event. So that's staff.
Not a chance.
That's staff, fighters, and cornermen. 166. So
I don't know if Auntie Jacinda is going to let that happen.
I don't tag her as a big fan of punching each other in the face either. So I don't think I'm not holding my breath, boys.
We'll see. Well, mate, thanks so much for jumping on. Anything to finish up with, Jackson?
Nah, but that's all. Dan, we'll link up once you're out of isolation, mate. We'll do this again for sure.
Sounds like a plan. Cheers, boys.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
Cheers, brother.